Hey everybody, welcome to another, what is this, an emergency conclave?
Emergency broadcast.
Beep, beep. This is not a test. I guess the graphic here matches.
I,
So,
I told the patrons it was an emergency broadcast at our usual time and place.
I don't think emergency broadcasts tend to be scheduled. They just kind of happen. Um,
Exactly.
So, Atomic Mass Games had their first Star Wars transmission. I guess they do like weekly transmissions. This is their first Star Wars focused one, of which there will be more. So, what Evan and I are going to do, Leo can't join us because he's got secret agent things to do. I don't know. I guess
Most likely.
or he's, yeah. Um, we're just going to go through the stream and hit all the points, say what we feel about them, what we think, what we speculate, what the world means these days, what is anything. It'll get pretty deep. We might cry by the time it's over. We'll see what happens.
I'm already crying.
I'm sorry. Do you need
It's
a
all right.
hug?
Nope, I have wine. That's all I need.
Okay. So, yeah, we both watched the stream as it happened earlier today. We couldn't do this live because we do things besides the Jodo cast. So, let's see here. They just kind of talk shop for a while. This is Will Schick and Simone Elliott. She's head of studio, and Will is, I think, one of the guys who started Atomic Mass, but I guess he's not really in charge anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try to figure out who these people are. Actually, that's going to be one of the
Well, we know who
first things.
Simone is. We've
Well, yes, we are well acquainted with Simone Elliott. That's for sure.
Formerly working at PR connections with Lucasfilm at Asmodee. Now she's head of studio for Atomic Mass Games. Will Schick, I forget his title, but in any case, if you look at our notes, what there was a few noteworthy things. One, they throw away snacks.
Ugh.
It just stood out to me. Apparently, because it sounds, I guess their office still gets stocked, but since no one works there in person, they have to throw out expired stuff. I don't know. It was a throwaway line that I thought way too hard about. It felt weird.
And so did Twitch chat.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I had the chat closed because I don't hate myself.
That's the smart move. I know. See, you're ahead of me in the wisdom area.
Any live stream that has more than 50 viewers, the chat's not worth looking at.
Yeah.
In any case, what else do we learn from that? You've got some of the notes up.
Well,
before we get to the spoilers, because they do spoil some new products, which got me very excited. But we'll get to that.
Yes. Much like them, we'll save that towards the second half. And these are things that I find interesting, the business side of things, because it influences it shows their mindset as a company, and that helps build confidence in the product. And so many people are only concerned with show us new products, and I certainly want to see that too, but getting to know the philosophies of the people making the products, I think, is extremely important. And we want to see new stuff, sure, but it's really nice to know that it's in good hands, and that's a big thing.
The impression I got with what they want, especially for organized play, which this is Wednesday. On Thursday, they're going to be releasing kind of a little news blast about their plans going forward for the Star Wars games organized play. They said they've been working and talking with the Fantasy Flight organized play. They did note that there will be no Worlds in 2021, which is good.
No surprise.
Right. Partially because even if it was safe to have it late in the year, there's none of the ramp up to Worlds with like the smaller events. So the next Worlds, presumably, they said it'll be in 2022. Who knows? I am a pessimist, and we'll see if that actually happens.
Let's see if your Worlds ticket.
Right. It's been sitting here since. Here's my ticket to Worlds 20.
Oh man. Oh man.
I've still got it, so we'll see if my 2020 Worlds ticket that I earned will carry over to 2022.
Golden ticket's a golden ticket as far as I'm concerned.
But what you were saying about their design philosophy, and it seems to be bleeding into OP, which I like. It seems like they have a little bit more of a casual focus towards the whole experience. They definitely want to be pushing a lot more of the hobby aspect than, which we saw start to ramp up with Fantasy Flight with Legion, where they would like do little painting guides. But it sounds like they really want to really dive into the whole hobby aspect. But as far as just the gameplay, they want to add, they said, they confirmed, because a lot of people were worried, there's not going to be a third edition of X-Wing. That's not in the cards. They're still going to just keep X-Wing going as is. But
I don't know why that was even a fear.
Because everybody assumes the worst at all times. Weird that I just said I'm a pessimist and I don't think there will be a Worlds 2022, but I guess I just know what to be cynical about. Because for X-Wing, they said, they'll keep doing the points updates, new stuff. We got some new X-Wing announcements today. But there will also be, they said they're going to be looking at trying to implement like co-op rules. Mm-hmm. And that sort of thing is really exciting to me because I like co-op games, co-op Star Wars games that already exist that I already am a fan of. That's just great. And cooperative is obviously a casual way to play games as opposed to, hyper competitive stuff. So I feel like they're going to have a bit more of a casual mindset more so than Fantasy Flight did. That's my impression. I don't think they're going to leave the competitive players high and dry, but I feel like they're going to have a bit more fun with it. Simone said that her dream wish list thing, because one of the things they're going to be doing with Legion organized play is having some more narrative focused events and things like that. And Simone said she wanted to do something inspired by the Vader Down comic, which is, if you haven't read it, essentially Darth Vader versus a bunch of rebel troopers.
Dead men.
Yeah. And that's really cool. They said it's not like a for sure thing, but they also said because Simone kind of wants it, it's likely to happen. So that's cool. There might be, a custom rule event where they have special rules for Vader, where he's got like 50 health and all these force powers, and one player just controls Vader and the other player controls everybody else. I don't know. Things like that sound very cool to me as a fan of like thematic games. So the culture of the company is promising to me from what we heard today.
For sure. And I had a thought just now. You sort of helped piece two thoughts together. Maybe I'll hang on to that for later. But don't let me forget that I had an epiphany at 10:02 Eastern Time.
Okay.
So I think it's worth talking about in a bit.
What's next worth talking about?
Let's see here. So,
actually,
let's see here. AMG, and this is something that we had said before. At least I had pointed out that the taking basically the majority of the teams or a whole bunch of people from Minnesota and shifting them out to Washington State was going to take this tiny team that was Atomic Mass Games.
Yeah, apparently Atomic Mass Games only had
them up.
8 people.
Yeah,
that sounds like a very small number of people to make Crisis Protocol, which is, as far as I can tell, a big game.
It's doing good numbers, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a cool game. Which, weirdly enough, side note, they seemed like they were legally not allowed to mention Marvel Crisis Protocol on the stream. Because I know Simone she used to have all that, or she probably still does with her new job.
Oh, I'm sure.
The legal, like what you are and are not allowed to say, public relations, all this stuff, license holder things. And they had to just mention their other product, not Marvel Crisis Protocol. And she seemed happy when he
We make 4 games and we're talking about 3 was basically what they said.
Yeah, they never mentioned a Marvel or Crisis Protocol or any...
No.
It was weird. I thought that was curious because I'm sure some lawyer somewhere was, getting ready to sue them out of existence if they said the word Marvel for some reason.
I'm sure They are always
It's not even like they're
walking on
I don't
eggshells for some reason. I mean,
don't get it.
a lot of like this is a little inside baseball, but we talked with them about what we could and couldn't sort of do in our relationship with FFG and how we present ourselves, the Jodo cast, and our product of the Jodo cast. So we're like, we kind of have, we can put pieces together here and there about what their angles are with very, very careful wording, and we've had this confirmed by other people who've been in a similar situation.
The fact that they don't want to even let one weird YouTuber say there's going to be some sort of Marvel Star Wars crossover.
Oh my gosh, that was certainly in the chat. I'm just like, what on earth makes you think that's a thing that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Why on earth?
So another thing they mentioned is that naturally they were affected by the pandemic, and the releases for 2021 are going to be a bit more delayed than they would have been otherwise because all the teams had to transition to working from home, which for tabletop games that, you need in-person stuff, it was challenging.
Yeah.
Speaking of 2021, they said all of the new products coming out in 2021 are still going to have the Fantasy Flight packaging. Starting in 2022 is when they're going to start having the Atomic Mass Games packaging and branding on them, which is something we've all been kind of wondering, like, when is that switch going to happen? It's
also worth noting, I think, that the small team at AMG, and this is a nothing but kudos to them. We've still seen them pumping out product this year. This past year.
Much Crisis Protocol coming out.
Yeah, just tons of it. I can't even casually keep up with all the releases when they're like, yeah, here comes the X-Men, and then now all of a sudden it's like the Inhumans, the entire royal family of Inhumans is on their way out now, and it's just like, where did all this come from? And they got more on the way. So they've been really working their 8 people's butts off over there.
They can keep that up with a bigger team and more products. Speaking of other products, apparently since we've been mentioning things that people have been weirdly afraid of or assuming,
I didn't know this was a thing to be afraid of.
People's concerns that X-Wing and Armada will continue to be pre-painted. I guess some people thought now that they're taking over, you're going to have to assemble and paint all of your X-Wing and Armada stuff. It's going to be the same as always. They did say they might be having some like articles or videos or live streams or whatever with ideas for how you might want to customize or paint your Armada and X-Wing stuff, which is cool. Like I said, it looks like they're really going to be diving into the kind of the hobby lifestyle with their stuff, but it's going to stay pre-painted.
I like that sort of talk, obviously.
If you say paintbrush, Evan's ears like go out and
they do. I get like the spidey sense, like the tingles out here. Now that it occurs to me, I wonder if spider sense feels like ASMR. Probably not.
It always seemed more like the Force to me.
Nails on a chalkboard. Probably. Anyways, I don't know why I thought of that. By the wine, but yeah, like I did not have a clue because I don't listen to or read too many other sites or podcasts, whatever, that talk about the fears of X-Wing and Armada people. I just see Armada people being like, tell us the game's not dead, as if they didn't just get a big drop of product.
Right, and it would be very strange for Atomic Mass Games to be not only talking about new Armada products, but just doing anything with Armada if it was dead. They wouldn't have said, hey, we're taking over Armada. They'd be like, no, we're leaving that. It's done.
Yeah, they'd say, that game's complete.
So I think that's all like the business type stuff. Let's look at some of the spoilers. Yeah, let's fast forward here a little bit. They start spoiling stuff. Okay, here we go.
You mentioned it already, but it bears saying again. they are going to be doing their streams
Weekly.
twice a week?
Yeah, it sounds like at least every
Wednesday
Wednesday, but
and
maybe
Friday?
also Fridays, which it sounds a
Yeah.
little overwhelming to me, to be honest, as someone who needs to keep up with all of it. But it sounds like most of the time they're just going to be sitting there like painting stuff. Maybe once they can meet in person, playing games. But
Yeah.
every once in a while they'll be having like spoilers and stuff. But
Well, and even like with the Warhammer community, they've been doing almost every single week since lockdown, 5 days a week. They've been doing streams, even if it's just hang out and hobby, hang out and paint, hobby clinic, like remote games. Like if we were playing IA and you were just moving all the pieces, so they can do it. It's doable, and even if it is just painting streams, I'm all about that.
So the first thing they announced is the Phoenix Cell pack for X-Wing, which obviously comes with this cool Hera B-Wing from Rebels and the Phoenix Squadron. We see Wedge, Sabine, and Hera as pilots shown on these things. They show the Hera card. I think they show the box. The box is pretty chunky. Here she has it here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited. I'm probably going to have to buy this because I'm also finally getting back into X-Wing, just playing at home casually.
Yeah. And these look like just good product.
That's such a big box for 3 ships. What else is in that box? Yeah. I feel like they've had 3 ship boxes before that weren't that big. What is Hera's ability? While another friendly ship at range 1 to 2 defends or performs attack, you may transfer one of your focus tokens, evade tokens, or locks to that. That's kind of cool. It's just a team player. She's a number 6. I have been kind of out of the X-Wing field for a while now. Finally getting back into it. But I thought with 2.05 was as high as it got. Maybe they're reserving 6 for like the best of the best, like Hera and Poe and maybe Han Solo. I don't know.
I think 6
is the highest. Okay.
Yeah, like Vader.
Oh, okay.
Vader's at 6. I'm pretty sure.
I got burnt out with the local scene, and then I'm getting back into it, and I'm excited. I actually played a game the other day, and it was fun. I'm like, oh, and I've got the Imperial and Scum conversion kits. Here's the Sky Strikes Academy Squadron.
Yeah.
More Rebels content. Who do we have here?
Oh, Rebels. I thought you said, like, these aren't Rebels. These are Imperials.
The TV show. Because they go to Sky Strike Academy, and they've got these cool paint jobs for, like, the trainers. And
I'm trying to see the names on there.
That's Volt Scaris. He gets killed in the show. Spoilers.
Oh, okay.
He's the guy in the Yellow Defender. Sienna Ree, we know her. She's from Lost Stars. She's been in...
Yeah.
I think she already had a X-Wing card, and for sure she's in Armada. And we got Gideon Hask. Simone pointed out that Gideon from Battlefront Fantasy Flight Games has been the world's leading export of Gideon Hask products because he was in Legion and maybe he was in Destiny. Another big chunky box
he was.
That seems way too big for just 3 ships.
His Destiny art was much better than his Legion art. I mean, you need at least all the dials and like 5. You're gonna have like 5 cards.
There's gonna be some card punches and stuff. Yeah. I guess maybe it all just fits in there. I feel like maybe I'm crazy. And previous 3 ship packs have been that big.
I think they have been, and I haven't bought any of those. But FFG has always been the leader in box filler to keep everything safe.
Yeah,
I enjoy their box filler because it makes it really easy for me to store all my bits and bobs. So I'm not gonna like call them out for like, oh, you put it's all cardboard in there.
Well,
like,
I'd rather have a lot of cardboard than a lot of plastic.
Yeah, that's true.
Gideon's thing is kind of cool. No, he's been in X-Wing before already in a TIE fighter. Now he's in an Interceptor.
Yeah,
I know all the.
Well, the Inferno Squad was in the 2.0 release, like first wave.
Yeah, there's like probably a lot of big X-Wing fans watching. By a lot, I mean like 3 who are like, oh, these guys haven't played X-Wing forever. I'm getting back into it. It's hard.
And it's a hard job when you talk about everything.
Well, Legion kind of replaced X-Wing for me. I'm like, I can't play all of these games all the time, so I gotta pick one. And the Legion crowd was a lot more chill than the X-Wing crowd.
And I do want to make another point, another thought, another epiphany that you gave me earlier.
Did you ever come back to your first epiphany?
I did not, but I have that one queued up.
Just want
it's
to
in
make
the
sure
queue.
It's still in the epiphany vault.
Oh yeah, the epiphany queue. Yep. So this first thought was, you said how they're sort of shifting their organized play attitude, their philosophy. They kind of shifted from what I would say is like the Magic the Gathering organized play, where it's pretty hardcore. And I think they were sort of in that space because all their original competitive games were card games. And now with the miniatures, they're pushing more into a Games Workshop organized play, which is much looser and much more just about hang out with friends and have fun. Because
that's what I like.
Yeah, and I do too. Like, I'm happy to, push around plastic army men and have a laugh instead of sweating like crazy through an all day.
Like, opposed to the competitive scene because I did earn a ticket to Worlds by playing competitively.
It's true.
I like it, but those events I don't think are going to go away. But it seems like the more lower level events are going to have different. It's not just going to be play the standard game. The top 2 people are going to get these cool things, and everyone else is not going to get much. It's going to be more like everybody gets something, and maybe these events will actually be twists on the current standard format of the game. We'll know more tomorrow. Maybe we can have another sit-down talk about organized play. I just hope that if it is that big of a shift from like hyper-competitive, reward the best players, everybody gets like one little participation, and then like the top 8, top 4, top 2, top 1 get the sweet juicy stuff that, and we've all seen, you look at these things on eBay and they're like $100, and it's kind of weird and it's kind of fun chasing those, but a lot of it's for most players it's hard to do. It is fun to have the cool fancy card that says, hey, I did this cool thing. But if it's shifting more, everybody's going to get a little bit of something. I'm just worried. Well, I don't even know if I care, but I do care. I hope that it's not going to like piss off a lot of these games communities that have been so ingrained into this form of organized play, kind of the hyper competitive nature. I hope they don't give up on things.
I think if they were going to have one of the 3 games be still hyper competitive, it's going to be X-Wing.
Yeah.
Because that's an Excel spreadsheet kind of game, and Legion can be, but I don't think it is. Like, by its nature, it's not a Excel spreadsheet math hammer kind of game.
No, this is a lot, and I mean, there's so much more variables. I mean, X-Wing, you can easily, build it in Vassal, where it's just 2D, and then measurements, statistics, and whatever. Whereas, you can boil it down to that. Which I don't want to. I know a lot of the hyper competitive people. They're very good at understanding the odds of any given attack, defense, roll, maneuver, whatever, and that's cool. But yeah, that's not how I want to play it.
Yeah,
that's why I never was super good at X-Wing because I'm like,
yeah, me neither.
But X-Wing is super fun, and one of the reasons X-Wing is so fun is because I think it's the ease of Armada, Legion, and X-Wing. X-Wing is the easiest to sit down and teach a new person in 30 minutes. And
still have most of the complete game,
and can then convince them to go get their own if they've never done a game like that before. It's a very good game, and I'm excited to be dipping my toes back into it. But
and speaking of ones announcements that get me excited.
This is cool.
We got another Scum
what did
box.
they call this? I forgot the title of this box.
Loose cannons.
No.
No.
So it's a Scum expansion that has 2 Y-wings and a Hawk.
Yeah, I did not get a picture of this box. I don't think. Let me double check.
We'll see it come up here if they show
All
it.
right.
They're all these cool black paint jobs. The Hawk is this black paint job from the Kanan comics. Kanan Jarrus is the pilot. I think they're kind of showing this is the Padawan on the run days of Kanan. The Kanan comic features this ship. What is Kanan's ability? While you are a ship in your firing arc defends, you can spend a force if you do the attack rolls 1 for your attack die. Well, that's cool.
Oof, I like that. Yeah, of course there was a comment in chat that was like, "Oh, you like Kanan? Here, he can pilot this." It's like, read a comic. And you know what? I'm not trying to be gatekeepery, but it's just like, it's in the comic, bro. It's in the comic.
That's one of the things. As someone who's very complete with reading all the canon stuff, I love how Fantasy Flight and I guess now Atomic Mass Games has been about like these cards that it's just a thing, but if you've read it, you're like, oh, I get that. I understand why that pilot is in that ship and why the art looks like this because I read or watched this thing. Like it's very fun. Like when you watch The Mandalorian and there's this like reference to this other thing and you're like, oh, that's cool. I feel a little bit more rewarded because I have that in my like catalog in my mind. And all these games are kind of the same way where I'm like, oh, Sienna Reed, she was from this book. And I was like, oh, that art is from that episode of the Clone Wars. This is the box. It's called Fugitives and Collaborators.
That's an odd name.
Yeah, I feel like Collaborator. What is that even? That's a weird name.
That is a weird name.
I don't think. Anyways, I love the paint jobs on those. I might have to get that one too. Because even though it's all going to be Scum stuff, you can still use those ships for your rebels.
And I like that because these are better from a booster pack sort of sense than I think the individual ships are because they help you instantly get not just a squad but something else to add to your whole mix. And like these are things I would buy these at $50. Hopefully it's not more than 50.
I would assume that's for there because they're $20 a piece individually ships these days. I think.
Yeah. So I would buy each of these boxes at 50 rather than each of the ships at 20. I mean, it's a better value anyways, but these also have very cool paint jobs, very cool characters that I already care about. Yeah, and they go together very well, and yeah, these are chef's kiss as far as I'm concerned. And these are some of the first X-Wings in a long time that I'm just like, they nailed it so well with
and they're
these.
Not even new ships, they're just repaints of existing
yes, they're not even new ships, but I would love to have them more than most of like the new stuff that they talked about last time.
I'm happy if they keep like releasing different repaints with new stuff just because as far as I'm concerned for Rebels and Empire, they've kind of got them all already. I'm sure I don't know if they've gotten through their whole backlog of 1.0 ships that they were, because they've been re-releasing them. I think there's still a few funky Imperial ships, but I don't like
the one gunboat.
That one's so weird. I don't know if it'll ever actually come into second edition. Like the TIE Aggressor, I think. I don't know. Now we've already known about these Armada announcements: the Invisible Hand, the Recusant, the Venator, and the Pelta. They're just showing off the models here. Very pretty. I like the Invisible Hand. As there's a very visible hand she's using to. Yeah, they look nice. I don't know what there's too much to say about that. About as long as a Star Destroyer, obviously not as wide.
I tried to get a picture.
They show the cards. The cards don't mean too much to us because we're not super familiar with Armada. I haven't played Armada since I played in the 2v2 tournament Worlds 2018. I think that was when we were all there, and I played in the 2v2 tournament.
Wait, when we were all there?
Yeah. You weren't
16.
there. I was playing with... Oh, I was sure it was 16? I feel like I was at a Worlds in 18. Doesn't matter.
That's the last you time very well may have been.
That's the last time I was at... that's the last time I played Armada, was when I did 2v2 with Kirk.
Okay.
And it was fun, but we lost. I like the art on this card. Over Coruscant. Have they always had full art on one side?
I want to say yes, but again...
I don't... No, I feel like they were double-sided before. One side would have like ISD-1 and the other side would have ISD-2. That card also looks like it's standard card size, not... Because the Armada ship cards had always been a little bigger. I don't know, I can't... It's just a JPEG or a PNG.
Yeah.
But,
it's hard to tell.
And we're not going to analyze these cards too hard because we're not Armada experts, but...
Yep, we'll leave that up to Kurt.
The art looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Again, we always say it. It looks great. Great models.
This was weird.
Can't really complain about it.
She's got the Pelta. Ooh, the art on that Pelta is really cool. The Pelta,
really
as
good.
we've seen in Star Wars Rebels, because there has been one of these ships in Armada already, because the Rebels have one. General Sato's ship.
Oh, yeah.
That ship has like little hinges on the back where the little flaps open up. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if the model had it, she would have shown it off. So maybe it doesn't. I don't think any of the Armada ships have that sort of flexible posing like X-Wing ships do, but...
I would certainly doubt it.
But, yeah.
For their scale, I would doubt it.
You're going to have to mod that. I mean, I swear the Rebels have the same ship because this same ship was in Rebels, unless the animation model was so different that it's like a different ship, but I'm pretty sure that they've already got that ship.
I think it probably is. And just painted blue.
The Recusant is an ugly ship, I think. The model looks cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a weird looking ship.
I think almost all of the
Separatist ships.
Yeah, the CIS ships are just... And it's fine. It's fine that they look weird because they're not designed for you and me. It's not for you. It's for somebody else. It's for droids and bug people.
So if you think... You look in the mirror one day and you think, I look pretty weird. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. You're for somebody. There's a droid or a bug person out there. And then we've got 2 Legion announcements.
Yeah, these are kind of interesting.
Very cool. The A-A5 transport for the Rebels, which, if you want to look it up... Oh, where's the box? She has a box. If you want to look up on Wikipedia, here's the box. It's a big box, but the art is cool. There's a dude hanging off the side of it. It's a very goofy-looking vehicle. What is it from? Is this from... I feel like this is from an RTS. Is it from Galactic Battlegrounds or Empire at War?
It could very well be Galactic Battlegrounds, but I don't quote me on that.
Do you want to Wookiee that real quick?
Yeah. I can Wookiee that.
I'd like knowing the lore behind these ships, especially the ones that I actually don't know anything about.
Okay. The A-AS speeder truck. I'm going to find that.
A-A5, not AS.
Oh, yeah. A-A5. Speeder truck.
It looks like it's from a mobile game or something.
Oh, goodness. Star Wars Commander.
Oh, that is a mobile game.
It's got to be from something else, though. Yeah. It's got to be from something else. Because Talon Card mentioned... Oh, I hate these ads.
Why don't you
get out of here?
As somebody who is trying to make a YouTube channel happen, I don't care if you use an ad blocker. Do it. It's good for your health.
Okay. Oh, dang. Okay. Appearances. Star Wars Galaxies and Empire Divided.
Okay.
Mentioned only... Oh, okay. And then Last Command.
Is that a book?
From the Thrawn trilogy.
Oh.
Other sources, Rebel Alliance Sourcebook, Alliance Sourcebook 2nd Edition, Star Wars Miniature Battles Companion.
What's the first appearance?
Actually, Star Wars Galaxies and Empire Divided is mentioned only, so Last Command is its primary appearance. Everything else are just source books.
I wonder when so it was probably designed visually in one of the RPG source books.
Yeah, Edge of the Empire Core rulebook. Bust out your book.
Huh. Okay.
But that's from the first time, because it was also in the Force Unleashed campaign guide for Saga Edition.
So it's a transport for the Rebels. So you'll be able to like the tank that the Empire currently has and the land speeder that the Rebels have. You can load people onto it.
Yeah, it reminded me.
Looking at the model, it reminded you of what? Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I was gonna say it reminded me of the aesthetics of like the prisoner transport that we saw a lot in Rebels. It's very similar lines to that.
The troop transport with the Kenner toy one with the dudes hanging off the side. It's kind of similar to that. Yeah. It definitely has kind of an old toy vibe to it, even if that's
it definitely does. Yeah.
It's got an optional turret on top. He said it's got clear plastic windows. It's got a Celestin driver. There's a little Celestin behind the wheel, and you can you can lift the top off. So you might want to magnetize it because you can. It's a transport, so if you want, it's got a fully modeled interior, so you could presumably fit the troops you're transporting inside it, and then pop them out. Instead of just putting them to the side of the table, you can actually just put them in there.
I commented, it's a Land Raider from Warhammer, because popping off the back and painting the inside that no one else will see, but it's there.
It almost looks like a Micro Machines thing. Like you would put your little cars in it or something.
I bet there was a Micro Machine of that. From 1996.
There's a little gun rack in the back there inside. It looks like it's going to be very fun to paint, especially if you want to put some decals on it or something. A lot of big flat surfaces, like you mentioned, so you can put a lot of decals on it.
Yeah, this and the next item both have a lot of broad panels to put stuff on.
The other thing they announced it looks like the base for this guy is the same base size as the... What is that tank called that the Empire has? The Rogue One tank. I think the worst design
it's the Rogue One tank.
I don't like it. Anyways, it's got that big, long, bean-shaped base.
Yeah.
But the other thing they announced was an LAAT/LE transport. So think the clone transport from, Attack of the Clones, the Clone Wars. That's the LAAT. This is the LE, which is like the version you see in Rebels and a few episodes near the end of the Clone Wars. It's more like a police version. Mm-hmm. And then I guess the Empire just adopts it. So it's a flying thing. I think it's kind of ugly, but it's essentially looks like if the Empire made a version of that LAAT. Mm-hmm. What's interesting and cool is that this one, you can play it on the Empire or the Rebels. Not the Rebels, sorry, the Republic.
I do that all the time.
And it looks like it'll be a transport. Ooh, the art is cool. There are stormtroopers rappelling down on ropes. So you'll be able to just load them up in there and fly them across the battlefield. It looks...
I like this. Even if it is cool. A little... It's a little of an odd design compared to most other vehicles and ships.
It's like, well, it's an Imperial thing, so let's slap some TIE wings on it. And I mean, even in the Clone Wars, where it first appeared, they wanted to make it look Imperial because it was... Mm-hmm. I think it first showed up in those Ahsoka episodes where they were kind of showing how the Republic was a lot more Imperial and militarized, and the kind of the design language was shifting.
I like its function and...
Hold on, let me back it up.
What you got?
Look at the front bottom. It looks like there's this big spotlight, which makes sense because I think there was one in Rebels. But it looks like it had a clear plastic on when he flips it over here on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like just like some kind of spotlight. Huh. Maybe you can equip a little LED in there and have a real spotlight.
I'm sure somebody will. This
just has the same base as the Saber tank and the AAT. big base, notches on all four sides, so you can strafe. The problem I see with this is not a problem, but I can see you might want to paint it differently for your Empire and for your Republic. Technically, the paint job can be the same, just kind of the Imperial gray, because that's what you see in Clone Wars. But
that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah,
I feel like your Republic probably already had, unless you're going strictly to canon, which I feel like most people aren't with their armies. You'd probably want it to match your Republic army, but you'd also want it to match your Imperial army, and those two probably don't match. So you're gonna have to buy two. Sorry. Or you paint the front half one scheme and the back half the other scheme.
To show the passage of time.
Yeah. I'm very excited. Even that speeder truck is dorky and weird, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited for I think it'll be fun to paint up and experiment with. It's a very goofy looking vehicle, which maybe is why I like it.
It's incredibly 80s.
It looks cute is how I would describe it. It's like if somebody made like a cute weirdo speeder truck is kind of how it is.
It's the kind of thing 6-year-old gets for Christmas.
I almost
play with their Kenner action figures.
Yeah, I almost want to put like the eyes from the Cars movies on the windshield. I think the X-Wing stuff is the most exciting announcements from this, but the Legion stuff is cool. And I wonder how long we have to... Oh, they did give us release dates for all these things, too.
That's also exciting, and they're not that far away.
Yeah, and usually I feel like in the past with release dates, Fantasy Flight was like, we'll tell you like a couple days before. Most of the times when you were figuring out release dates, you had to ask like your store and stuff.
And they'd be like, well, if it's Asmodee, who knows?
But no, they told us the release dates for all of those things. With the X-Wing stuff, it's March 26th. Let's see here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Armada stuff is April 16th, and the Legion stuff is May 20th. So they're all coming up.
Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad, quite honestly. My biggest takeaway from this whole event, like my highlight, was the fact that they are going to be, I don't want to say like transparent, but they're going to try to communicate with the community better, because that's one of the things that I have been on FFG about forever, is communicating with not just us as free advertising, but with the people that care, the people that want to support them and want to buy things, and people want to feel like their investments are being fulfilled, I guess is the way to put it. In fact, that was mentioned early on.
I think he said how aware they are of like the connection you have with the plastic and you buy and paint and put on your shelf. Like if you've painted stuff, you know how much more exciting it is to have a piece of plastic you assembled and painted and played with all your own than just any other type of regular board game. And they seem to be acutely aware of that and want to, I don't know, they're gonna start like a Build-A-Bear type thing where you can like whisper your hopes into it and like put a tiny little heart inside it and kiss it before you seal it up.
I want to do that with a Space Marine. And I'm going to go to Warhammer World and be like, Marnie, it's Calgar. I want to grow up and be just like you.
I feel like, you know what? People can make money dice shaming. Like you mail their dice. People have services where you can mail them your dice and they'll like shame them for you. Why can't we get little plastic hearts that you can just buy a bag of, and you can just drop one into every single mini you assemble so that it knows that it is loved and it has a heart.
That's not a bad idea.
And they can have like heart-shaped ones like the Build-A-Bear and anatomical hearts if for your more serious games like Warhammer.
Yeah.
So putting together a little battle droid, you go, love you. If you put together a spaceman, you go, love you, bro.
Exactly. I love you like a brother.
I think that's all the stuff. I thought it was hopefully it doesn't get overwhelming having these streams weekly, but I was happy to hear from them. I am excited to see what the organized play announcement is tomorrow. I'm excited to see how they do hobby-wise, because it sounds like they, are going to be taking that a lot more seriously than Fantasy Flight did. Not that they didn't care, but it looks like that, these people, they're from the mini-gaming world, which also weirdly, they said there were 8 of them up until the whole transition thing. But they also said that they had like 20, 25 years worth of experience in the field, which among 8 people isn't actually that much. I mean, they seem like they know what they're doing. Obviously, Crisis Protocol is great. I have no reason to doubt them, but it seems weird to be like, right. We've got 20 years of experience across 50 people. And you know what? Experience isn't everything, contrary to your RPG beliefs. I'm saying this because I want people to hire me for things that I don't have any experience in.
Yeah, those entry positions that require 10 years of experience.
Yeah. Did you address your epiphany that occurred at 10:02 p.m. Eastern Time?
I was just trying to think of what it was, and I know one of my epiphanies was them transitioning to the OP, but as far as their like philosophy of, I guess, game design, they're also pushing more of the, like you said, the hobby aspect. And I think part of that is going to be pushing, I hope at least, a more narrative gaming outlook instead of like gearing. I feel like all of the FFG products that we partake in are geared for competitive. Like, it's always felt that way. Like, even with Legion, I feel much more pressured to play rules as written.
Legion did experiment with some sort of narrative type stuff when the game first launched, with some like PDFs you could print out that had like special scenarios with like a paragraph of the situation, and then like depending on which side won, you do this mission next or this mission. And I guess those didn't take off very well, but I'd like to see that expanded on more, because I like the last Legion video I did was basically just my own custom scenario and story, and I really like that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am much more of a theme the army around a story event, and even theme the mission around the story event. Like, I've been trying to use very much the Games Workshop narrative play model to think of, like, how would you do a Rebel campaign? It'd be like Rebels versus Imperials, and I still really want a Renegade faction in Legion, just to provide something else besides just the good guys and the bad guys for people to play. But like, thinking about if you were to take, actually, I take that, insert this thought, the Galactic Conquest from old Battlefront is definitely a model to follow.
What?
And
they did that with
the
Armada,
story
sort of.
from... Yeah,
remember that Rebellion in the Rim or whatever? I think there was actually 2. I think there was like a Corellia campaign box. Yeah,
there was a Corellian campaign. I remember that one.
I remember there was one called like Rebellion in the Rim, because I made a joke about that's my butt after Taco Bell or something. Maybe that one never
Sounds
came
right.
out. I don't know. But they did that sort of thing because it came with a map. I remember.
Yeah, I want to see
Yeah.
that.
We tried something like that at a Legion League once. We had a Galaxy map. It might have been the Armada one, but like all the players were divided into like, okay, you're the Rebels and you're the Empire, and then we were. It's like, oh, this week we're fighting over Kashyyyk, and then if the majority of the Empire players win, that planet goes to them or something, and then they get like a bonus for next week or something. It was cool. Definitely could have been worked out a bit better, but
And then along with that, besides just the progression aspect of that, I'd like to see, instead of doing the random draw and the 3x3 grid of picking your twist and your deployment and the mission objective, like tailor, you can use those, but put them together, tailor them for if you are fighting at Kashyyyk. You know what the environment's going to be like. You can have ideas for what the objective would be like.
That sounds like I was saying earlier, those PDFs that they tried to do, a lot of those had like custom setups like that weren't on any of the cards. So it's like, oh, here's a custom deployment rule, here's a custom condition. That could be interesting to have, to just homebrew some, like, oh, here's the custom, this is if like themed after planets. Oh, this is if you're on Kashyyyk, here's this custom scenario card that does this, or Hoth. I don't know. That's cool. I want to know what you, the listener and or viewer, depending on if you're on our podcast feed or our YouTube channel, are most excited about of these announcements, and what are your hopes and dreams and fears, because we wouldn't be good modern journalists if we didn't try and stoke people's fears of the AMG takeover, their hostile takeover of Star Wars. They stole it from Fantasy Flight Games.
Oh no, I got it. Another thing. So the announcement tomorrow about organized play is going to be AMG and FFG, right?
I think they said that they had been talking with Fantasy Flight. I don't know if it's going to be like a simultaneous announcement, but I think, they'll be informed by, because I don't think it's going to be like a dual post or something.
Okay, because I was wondering, not knowing how tomorrow at noon Central Time, if Asmodee was going to basically take the reins on competitive and be like, we're gonna put all of your competitive under one umbrella.
Oh,
which I hope they don't. But
no, they're just gonna be doing the 3 Star Wars games and the one other game that
they have to have that in a separate building.
Yeah, Fantasy Flight will still have their own OP.
Well, and I'll be.
Yeah, I'm excited about organized play and what they have to say.
And likewise with that, I am also looking forward to FFG getting to put the spotlight on card games and
without
the board games.
Without those 3 games, it's going to be L5R and Descent is all they're going to be talking about, in Arkham. And Keyforge.
Hey boy, yeah.
We got to forge some keys. Oh, look, fun. I got a little key right here.
It's a fun game. Little key. Look at that. Oh.
That's from Grip Hook. You didn't need it. Lego Grip Hook.
Oh, Grip Hook, yes.
Oh, Warwick Davis.
Oh, yeah. Ewok faction confirmed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's how we should end every thing, is list a bunch of rumors, but say confirmed, and then everyone will start spreading the rumors, and
sources have confirmed for us.
Yeah, Ewoks confirmed. Galen Merrick from Force Unleashed confirmed for both Rebels and Empire, and his own faction as well. He's playable
sweet.
solo. He's a full 800 points on his own.
That checks out.
What else got confirmed?
You can put him on the table during Armada, and he can actually remove
Star Destroyers.
Star Destroyer from the game.
Also confirmed, we got to have a little bit more believable stuff, so the more outlandish stuff.
Mix it in.
So that all seems, it brings it back. Mud Troopers, as seen in Solo, confirmed for Legion. The ATDT from Solo, confirmed for Legion. Atomic Mass branded a little dice popper, like, you know, the game Trouble, where you push the button and it rolls your dice.
Yup.
But it kind of looks like a Gungan bubble shield. I kind of want one.
I was hoping it was going to be the battery-powered R2 dice roller from Star Wars Trivial Pursuit Trilogy Edition.
Also, what last thing they said was, I lost it.
Raylo
Sando Aquamonster
expansion
for Legion.
Oh yeah, I mean it's already in the role-playing game. Speaking of which, we should
I think we're done.
Hit up Edge Studio.
Yeah,
they're next.
Speaking of things I need, where's my goddamn Outer Rim expansion? Fantasy.
Hey, now they
games.
can. Now FFG can focus on the Outer Rim expansion. That's what's next. Confirmed.
Confirmed. High Republic is canon. Confirmed.
Confirmed. Is that a new sign off?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's everything. I'm excited, and I wore myself out by making fun of. I feel, you know what? I actually did have the thought to have a Onion style news show, or just a Twitter account that just trolls people who don't take news seriously. Because, you know, people fall for the Onion all the time, and that's their fault. Yeah. So it'd be things like this, where you're like, oh, Ewoks coming to Legion, confirmed.
Especially people who take Plastic Army Men too seriously.
Oh, yeah. People who be like, ooh, that's a good one. Atomic Mass Games is going forward, all the miniatures will be female. That's a rumor that I know people would take seriously.
Yeah.
I've met a player who, even though the mini on the Rebel Soldier was clearly female, didn't want to believe it. I'm like, okay, she's gonna move over here. I'm like, you getting concerned about the pronouns of my miniature, buddy? They're
Wait,
out there.
It was your miniature?
I think so. Maybe it was his. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Now you should, whenever you be like, move this miniature, be like, she, her. Gonna move that way.
Anyways, thank you everybody for watching and or listening. Please let us know how you feel about life under our new overlords, Atomic Mass Games, where they will be.
I'm feeling better.
Yeah, you used to hate them. You used to have a wall.
I don't hate them personally.
It's
just professionally.
Because they ruined your in-flight report that 1 year.
They did.
I'll never forget. In-flight report, and he had his coffee, and the AMG guys showed up, and they kicked it out of his hands, and they go, Marvel Miniatures game! Screw your Fantasy Flight stuff. Anyways, thanks. Goodbye.
Goodbye.